Do we still care? Let's talk about it. First, let's set the mood.
I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, yeah. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, yeah. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, yeah. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. Turned 18 and know it all, boy, I had some nerve. Popping all that fly shit, got me kicked to the curb. Had a little weed flow in the projects, laying sausage. Most nights it was 4 wings and fried rice to profit. Yale, they was getting jammed like 4 o'clock on 42. And bold fiends will catch you slipping like a bowling shoe. Times a few loose cannons, but most hustlers were cool. The hammers at the time, 38 a deuce. Banging them all, but CNN yelling Iraq and Beirut. Looking up to who run the block, trying to be the next recruit. Bitches in loot better get low when they shoot. Child support advice shit, I'm trying to dodge the pursuit. E&J and Absolute, Stevie Wonder on the wall. Same fiend, keep the change, slobber with the crooked jaw. Most nights played spades when niggas' shift was over. Most winters was cold as fuck, trying to meet that quota. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. I'm grinding my way back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. The love been scarred and the loyalty broke. Know the road been hard, but my heart breathe hope. So I'm grinding my way back. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. Seen them treat ratchets like wifeys and wifeys like ratchets. It's evil for cabbage. Stuff in the ceilings or the mattress. Watching they tactics while harshly judging my own. Even kings dealt with demons trying to manage the throne. Code of silence for being prone to violence. Quick to claim the streets and singing like Frankie Lyman. First 48, whimpering and crying. Living but dying. Know plenty who masked up before follow the science. Won't show me a soul, but will text me our privates. Getting cash apps from people, but they really her clients. It's sad how niggas' relations be clue with the opposites. Always fuck them all. They'll never say I'm monogamous. Flow smoke, plenty beliefs. You would have thought I'm a buying this bully. Giving free blast offs. Heard of pocket rockets, call it an option. A, B, and C for them pocket watches. Going hard to never return to that homeless spot. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. I'm grinding my way back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. The love been scarred and the loyalty broke. Know the road been hard, but my heart breathe hope. So I'm grinding my way back. I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back, I'm gonna get back. Environment ain't good and the path ain't straight. My hands ain't clean, but won't dirty my faith while I'm grinding my way back. Every day I'm gonna
What's up, good people?
I'm gonna get back.
Everybody out there on the get back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody grinding, trying to get their money. Trying to live a peaceful, stressful life, you know? Shout out to y'all, you feel me? So, the homie Uncle Trump has declassed JFK, RFK, and MLK. Do we still care at this point? Knowing what we know at this point. Because clearly at this time, it just feels like, you know, okay, you know, he's ready to show us that they're ready for the government to finally admit their hand in some things. Or, I mean, they might not have had a hand in the things. They might be actually ready to show us that it was people in the government doing things for the direction of other entities, you know? And it's only 3% of the JFK stuff we don't know. RFK has always been overshadowed by JFK. and to some degree MLK. And, you know, I feel as though the black community always had a idea that the government had a hand in MLK. So it's just very interesting that after all this time, when we're in 2025, and people have had their ideas and their, um, their conclusions about what happened to these three people and who was involved the whole time and who had a hand in it, and, possibly why they were done the way that they were done. So I first want to get into this Forbes article and read some of the points that they're pointing out regarding what's being declassed and what exactly it means. And I'm gonna give a few of my own opinions, and then also, I'm going to get into a list of other things that I feel as though need to be declassed that are just important, if not more important, than declassing these three. So I'm just hoping that this is a great start to being transparent of the tragedies that we had to grow up in, that shaped some of the laws and some of the actions of government officials that, we were always looking for the explanation for, and, probably was buried in statutes and codes and political talk. So, let's break it down. Trump declassifying all JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. assassination records. Here's what that means. President Donald Trump ordered Thursday the declassification of all records concerning the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy, former Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., issuing the release of the documents after some were left redacted following his first presidential term. Think about that. He had the first go around that he could have did that with the swipe of a pen, and the stuff that he was releasing then, even though I understand that he was fighting, he probably was fighting with one hand behind his back, if not both. We got 97%. It was just like, why couldn't we get that last three? And, I guess we'll find out. The issuing the release of documents after some were left redacted following his first presidential term. Okay, we get into the key facts. Trump said in an executive order the release of the assassination records is in the interest of the American people and family of the deceased, noting the release of the records, which will come over 60 years after the assassinations, is long overdue. All records pertaining to JFK assassination were to be publicly released by 2017 under the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act of 1992. So, 1992. Which were carved out of an exception for information that went against public interest or was deemed harmful to U.S. military defense, intelligence operations, law enforcement, or foreign relations conduct. So why would this information be harmful to our military, intelligence, law enforcement, and foreign relations conduct? Because maybe the foreigners would be like, if you would kill your own leader, imagine what you would do to us. The military people would probably say, if you guys are conspiring to kill our leader and a representation of this free country, why are we out here fighting for you? You could be possibly sending us to fight people that are trying to tell us that you are out here trying to kill our leader. Stuff to think about, people. Stuff to think about. Public interest. If the people found out that certain individuals in or close to our government in the hierarchy conspired to kill our leader, a man that was beloved by the people. All three men were beloved by the people, but this man was our president at the time. So, of course, the people would have rioted and probably burnt DC down. I'm just saying. There are no congressional acts forcing the release of records related to the assassinations of RFK and MLK Jr., but Trump determined the release of those documents was also in the public interest. Why are the assassination documents being released? Likely because interest and skepticism over the assassinations has stayed relatively consistent in the public. Yeah, we believe y'all did it. In political realms for decades. In 2013, which marked the 50th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination, about 61% of Americans believe Lee Harvey Oswald, the former president's murderer, did not act alone. I don't think people ever fully believed it was him to begin with, especially after said individual shot him on live TV coming out of the police station, I believe. And it's like the cleanup begins immediately. You know what I'm saying? The curiosity has also been fueled by the fact that despite Trump and former President Joe Biden releasing swaths of documents in their respective terms, not all documents have been released. Yeah, why would you release partial documents? What is the point of that? What are you trying to hide? Who are you trying to hide it from? Who are you trying to hide? How many assassination documents will be released? It is not clear how many documents about RFK and MLK's assassination will be released, though experts have estimated between 3,000 and 4,000 documents about the JFK assassination will be released. Only about 3% of records concerning the assassination remain shielded from public view, in 2002 NBC News reported. What might be revealed in the assassination documents? While it is not absolutely certain what the documents will contain and if they will contain compelling information, experts who spoke to the Associated Press do not believe the contents will include new revelatory information. Investigative journalist and author Gerald Posner, who authored the best-selling book concluding Oswald acted alone, told the AP, anyone waiting for a smoking gun that's going to turn this case upside down will be sorely disappointed. I don't believe that, my brother. I don't believe that. Because I've seen the video of the driver turning around and firing. Ain't no sniper gun doing that. No one ever asked the question, why is Jackie Kennedy trying to jump out the vehicle if the agents are yelling to her, there's a sniper. Because whoever just gave her husband that fatal blow to the head was right there, was awful close. That was reactionatory to something that happened right next to, like, boom. Let me get out the way. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. What assassination documents have been released so far? Millions of documents have been released concerning JFK's assassination and can be found on the National Archives website. No history-altering revelations suggesting anything other than the official conclusion that Oswald acted alone have been gleaned from released records so far, though they have provided previously publicly unknown details. Some of the most recently redacted portions revealed a CIA agent read Oswald's mail 1 year before JFK's assassination, according to NBC News. They read his mail? No, they probably sent them the mail. Like, what are we talking about here? It's crazy. It's crazy. So let's continue on. What has Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said about the assassination? Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's pick for Health and Human Services Secretary, has pinned his uncle's death on the Central Intelligence Agency. He has also claimed that there is convincing but circumstantial evidence that the CIA was involved in his father's death. Does that not make sense? How could it be convincing and circumstantial? If it's convincing, you're convinced. It can't be circumstantial. When will the assassination documents be released? The release of the documents could take up to 60 days. According to the executive order, however, they may be released sometime earlier than that, as Trump said in order. It was in the nation's interest to release them without delay. Release them bad boys without delay. Key background. MLK Jr. and RFK were both murdered in 1968, 5 years after after JFK's assassination. While RFK Jr. has said he believes the CIA was involved in his father's death, the agency, in addition to the FBI, has also been implicated by conspiracy theorists in the death of King, as well, with skeptics pointing out federal spying campaigns carried out against the civil rights leader. Yeah, so it's interesting because we have these quote-unquote three-letter agencies, and they're supposed to be doing specific things. But it looks like one was watching the other's actions and documenting them while also watching the person that they're watching the other person watch. You know, it's like y'all were just watching everybody. Y'all just knew everything, but no one was doing anything. And I guess like when a particular agent or whatever for one agency got a little too overzealous trying to actually do the right thing, then that's when, they took him out or did whatever allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And it's very crazy. It's very crazy. So let's continue on. Oh, that's the end of that article. So yeah, this is what Forbes had to say. I also wanted to know what Martin Luther King's family felt and had to say about the situation. So here's a statement released from them through Fox 5 Atlanta. And they pretty much was asking I don't want to misquote them. Here we go. The family released this statement today. Our family has learned that President Trump has ordered the declassification of remaining records pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, his brother Robert F. Kennedy, and our father, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. For us, the assassination of our father is a deeply personal family loss that we have endured over the last 56 years. We hope to be provided the opportunity to review the files as a family prior to its public release. But in a way, I already feel like they seen these records because of the case that they had, the civil case that they had, that they won. Like, let's look at what was said then. This is CBS News special reports from December 8th, 1999, that the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., felt vindicated. So let's see the quotes that we have right here. The widow of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. says she feels vindicated by a jury's findings in December 1999 that her husband was the victim of a conspiracy, not a lone assassin, and says it is the duty of the Justice Department to look at the information presented in the Memphis case. Here's the quote. I think that if people will look at the evidence that we have, it's conclusive, and I think the Justice Department has a responsibility to do what it feels is the right thing to do, the just thing to do. End quote. From Coretta Scott King. Rest in peace to that sister. Told CBS early show anchor Brian Gumbel a day after the trial. The jury of 6 blacks and 6 whites deliberated only about 3 hours before returning the verdict in a civil lawsuit brought by the King family, reports CBS News correspondent Jennifer Jones. They had sued Lloyd Jowers, a 73-year-old retired Memphis businessman who claimed 6 years ago that he paid someone other than James Earl Ray to kill King. The Kings were awarded $100 in damages. That can't be right. $100? But they weren't after money. What they wanted was a verdict that would lend support to their call for a new investigation of the killing. It's been painful, quote, it's been painful and also been bittersweet, says King's son Dexter, who led the family pursuit of the truth. Bittersweet because of the tragedy, obviously, but liberating in the sense and sweet that we have been vindicated, and ultimately that the significance of this verdict, historical verdict that really rewrites history, is liberating. Now we can move on with our lives, have a sense of closure and healing. William Peppers, the king's lawyer, told jurors Jawers was part of a vast conspiracy involving the mafia and agents of the federal government. He said King was targeted because of his opposition to the Vietnam War and plans for a huge march on Washington. Interesting. I allegedly always thought that Dr. King was allegedly taken out by the powers that be because he no longer wanted to lead his people into the fire. But they say it's because he was against the Vietnam War and planned another march on Washington. A cover-up following the assassination in Memphis in 1968 involved the FBI, CIA, the media, and Army intelligence, as well as many state and city officials, Pepper said. He told the jurors they could rewrite history with a conspiracy verdict. We're asking you to send a message to all of those in power that you cannot get away with it, Pepper said during his closing arguments. Ray confessed to the murder in 1969, but recanted and spent the rest of his life trying to get a trial. He died from liver disease last year. Ray's guilty plea was upheld 8 times by state and federal courts. A U.S. House committee concluded in 1978 that Ray was the killer, but he may have had help before or after the assassination. The committee did not find any government involvement in the murder. The jury also heard a great deal of evidence which exonerated James Earl Ray, Pepper said Thursday. That should be made clear because there are spins coming out indicating that James was part of this conspiracy. That's not what the jury found or heard. They heard strong evidence that James was an unknowing patsy. Jowers owned a small restaurant, Jim's Grill, across the street from the Lorraine Motel where King was killed. On the day of the murder, Ray, a prison escapee from Missouri, rented a room under an assumed name in a rooming house above Jim's Grill. How interesting of a coincidence that is. I never knew any of this information. In 1993, Jowers said on ABC TV that he hired King's killer as a favor to an underworld figure who was a friend. He did not identify the purported killer, but says it wasn't Ray. Jowers, who has never repeated the claim, was sick for much of the trial and did not testify. Lewis Garrison, Jowers' lawyer, told jurors they could reasonably conclude King was the victim of a conspiracy, but said his client's role was minor at best. Minor at best? You got the hitman from your own 1993 admission for an underworld, quote unquote, underworld figure of yours. Friend. He said it was hard to believe the owner of a greasy spoon and an escaped convict. Like, how's an escaped convict? How are you escaped from prison able to get this apartment over top of a restaurant across from a motel? Was that another underworld figure? Was James Earl Ray another underworld friend that you was just looking out for? Or did the underworld friend tell you to place him there too? Look out for the cookout. Pepper said King was killed because of his opposition to the war and his planned Poor People's March, quote unquote, on Washington. Those activities angered big money defense contractors and threatened a redistribution of wealth in America, he said. King planned to assemble thousands of protesters at a tent city in Washington, and those in power were afraid that mob would overrun the Capitol. They were really afraid of that in those times because we had a strong family base as a black community, and we had organizations in the 60s like the Panthers that were up and running. I just think people were a lot more socially conscious back then and more together. You had more athletes taking a stance and coming together against certain civil rights that they were trying to achieve for their people. Because, during that time, segregation was still a very huge topic where you couldn't go and could go as a certain complexion of human being. And it was crazy. And it was good to see how involved we were up into our figures that we looked up to. And I just wish we get back to that to a degree. It's the order to kill King, Pepper said, came from the head of an organized crime. I guess they're trying to say organized crime member in New Orleans to a Memphis produced dealer who got Jowers to handle the payoff and murder weapon. So that kind of relates back to Oliver Stone's movie about JFK and how they were down in New Orleans and how people were trying to understand how New Orleans connects to the president being assassinated, and they, put together a lot of things from that case that showed that it was something bigger than, what they tried to say with just one person. So both calls, so it's just strange that both things came out of New Orleans. An Army sniper squad was in place to shoot King if the mafia hit failed, Pepper said. Wow. An Army sniper squad. So they had the contingency plan already on deck if the alleged patsies or lower level operation they put in place to probably blame on them if they had to go into action. It's crazy. It's crazy. John Campbell, a prosecutor to the Shelby County District Attorney's Office who has investigated the assassination but was not involved in the Jowers trial, says the conspiracy claims have no merit. We looked at this off and on for 5 years, and I've still seen nothing that would change my opinion that Ray acted alone, Campbell said. So yeah, let me finish this. Last year, U.S. Attorney Janet Reno ordered a limited investigation by the Justice Department into allegations of a conspiracy into King's murder. One was Jowers' claim. The other was a statement by former FBI agent Donald Wilson that he found papers in Ray's car that might support a conspiracy. So this guy who was a on-the-run prisoner had a car, a crib, and conspiracy papers in the car. Justice Department Deputy Attorney General Eric Holder says the report is almost complete and could be released within weeks, but Holder says he doubts the report or the Memphis case will lead to any criminal charges. But at a news conference in Atlanta, Dexter King said his family was just happy to have resolved decades of doubt. We don't care what the Justice Department does because of the information that came out in the Memphis trial. He says, we believe that this case is over. We know what happened. This is the period at the end of the sentence. So that's what the King family said in December 8th, 1999 after that trial. And yeah, so that is my question. Like, do we still care about these particular assassinations at the height that they're asking us that we care? Or that at the height that, President Trump is saying, hey, this is of the highest of public interest and should not be delayed. Why? When we've already, to some degree, have this information that the boogeymen did it. Big bad big brother did it. I mean, what else you want? You know what I'm saying? What else you want us to say? So yeah, I'm ready to get into what about the stuff we do care about right now that is of the highest public interest, that is at the highest of national security measures? We got a report released by Times Now Digital. JFK and MLK declassified are Epstein, 9/11 files under this next under Trump's radar. That's what we want to know. U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday ordered the declassification of documents related to the assassinations of John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. The 78-year-old's order directs officials to present a plan to declassify the documents within 15 days. However, Trump did not cover the controversial Jeffrey Epstein and 9/11 files in his order. A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office, and everything will be revealed. So, that takes me here. There's other things we want to know. There's other things we need to know.
when the Fed.
So, sorry about that. I made a little list of things that I feel as though we want to know. Because we already have an idea of who killed Martin Luther King, JFK, and RFK. We already know Big Brother did it. So it's just almost like you guys are just confirming it for us. So here's the thing. Here's my list. I want you to declass J. Edgar Hoover files. Was this man controlled by the mafia to investigate everybody but them because he was a crossdresser, allegedly? And he was caught, allegedly, in mafia-controlled LGBTQ bars of that time. And they got a hold of some pictures, allegedly, and controlled him to go after black nationalist groups, to have him view the black Americans as a threat if they try to unite. I also want you to declass anything involving the Black Panthers that may have been investigated by the FBI. Were there CIA operatives sent in COINTELPRO to destroy the Black Panther Party and demonize them to be some sort of threatening organization? Next, I want you to declass Operation Paperclip. Did we actually win that war? Or were we infiltrated through Operation Paperclip by them controlling the media, by them bringing over the intelligence of the Nazis and infiltrating them in the hierarchy of our government, in media, in military, in entertainment, education, the technology sector, to know how to do psychological warfare that put fluoride in our drinking water, the chemtrails, TVs shooting subliminal messages. Did Hitler actually die? Or was he killed where you said he was killed at? Or did he die an old man, allegedly, in Argentina, with a number of other alleged Nazi generals who could not be replaced because they were too much of republic figures, that they had to be hidden? These are the things that I think people want to know. Malcolm X, was he an agent? Was he under surveillance? Was he surrounded by agents who infiltrated his organization once he, whether with the nation or when he separated from the nation? Was the nation allegedly controlled? I think these are things. Do you have any information regarding his assassination attempt? Did you do it? I think these are things people want to know. Saddam, your real intentions for going in Iraq. Not once, but twice. Muammar Gaddafi. Did you kill a great African king? We want to know. Did an agency, a 3-letter agency that we funded, sabotage and kill these leaders? Demonize them in the media over here. Condition us to believe that they're dictators, so it would make it easier for you to take them out, allegedly. For your own interests. Here's another one that people are exhausted of. But I know you want to know. Because you know they know. If they didn't have a hand in it, they know. Because this is what they do. One of these 3-letter agencies know. Or they had somebody who was on it. Tupac and Biggie. Were you surveilling them? Did you infiltrate them? Who did it and why? Even if it's for the most niggerish reason. We want to know what you got. Why were you looking? What were you looking for? And when you seen it coming, why didn't you stop it if you didn't want it done? Or if you didn't have a hand in it? We want to know. We want to know, is hip hop a CIA controlled and funded entity? And I shouldn't even say hip hop. I'm going to say rap. Because hip hop is an organic thing of the people. It is graffiti, breakdancing, DJing, and MCing. Rap is a business they created for you to get on the radio. For you to get on TV. But if you are hip hop, the people will propel you into a situation to rap because they're going to come looking for you because you're influential. So they want to control that influence. Can't let that get out of hand. But was hip hop seen and turned into an operation to be weaponized against the black community, to fill private prisons, or private prisons owned by shell companies that are owned by people who are close to, if not connected in you know what I mean, tied to these same 3-letter agencies? Who's the shareholders? This is what we want to know. This is of the highest public interest. Were you out here conditioning thugs, creating thugs through music and frequency to commit crimes, so you can lock up their bodies and use them for your own personal interests of getting federal grant money as well as cheap labor for other contracted deals? Another thing that I think is of the highest public interest. Did you put crack in our community? Did you bring the guns in our community? Confirm or unconfirm Reaganomics. The Contra story. Did you really go get after Gary Webb, allegedly? Because if I remember, the reports was they found him with 2 in his head and a suicide note. These are the things that I think people want to know. This is what we mean by transparency. This is what we want to understand when we say we wanted to change and when we hear the word Declass. I got another one for you. Mandela and the whole apartheid saga. Was that a controlled psyop by our government? We want to know. There's a quote, when the people want a champion, we give them one. I'm asking about these people that they propped up in front of us and gave us and told us, this is your prominent black leaders, because we said so. Because history is his story. Winners write it. And we know who been winning. So unless you were there, you have to question it all. And we know they know. Declass it. You know. Release the files that you have on it. Now let's get into another one. Obamagate. Release it. You've been saying the man wasn't born here. He this, he that. Y'all chuckling at the funeral. last I checked, if you were not born on American soil, you could not be the president. So if he wasn't born here, and supposedly, by some coincidence, the people in charge of providing the birth certificate from Hawaii didn't die from a plane crash, just died after the plane crash floating in the ocean. The only ones, I believe, from the plane crash, because I think everyone from the plane crash allegedly survived but them. How much of a coincidence? So what else are we hiding? Because we never, it was his grandfather, Stanley Durham, a CIA agent or a director of some form at the CIA? How was his grandmother able to pay such a high tuition for a toddler in the 60s or 70s, whenever he was this kid in Hawaii going to this prestigious school for 50 grand, but he was supposed to be this poor black guy out of south side of Chicago that made it from the gutter because he was biracial. Like, did you ever notice when these people are running? You never seen none of Obama's white side when he was running? Just like this, you seen the same play with Kamala, but they had to rush the play so it wasn't conditioned in your mind and you didn't notice it. But when she was running as senator or whatever she was, you only seen her it was just her Indian side. That's all you seen. She was parading her Indian side all around the campaign trail. But now when she became black, you only seen anybody that could validate her blackness. But you didn't see her father, who was supposed to be a black man from Jamaica. But allegedly, he was a Jewish man who grew up in Jamaica. Because if that was not the case, and he was a legit black Jamaican man, they would have paraded him around with her. They would have made him statements to read off. They would have made a way. And I feel the same thing was going on with Obama. You rarely seen his African side that he was actually supposed to be related to. And when you did see them, they were just in dashikis in a corner, propped up like a fixture to stand there, smile, take photos when needed, don't say anything. But then you turn around and see his alleged brother, Malik Obama, on Twitter going crazy, saying that's not his brother and this, that, and the third. And you know what I mean? And then come to find out he was never Barack Obama, Hussein. He was Barry Santoro all this time. And what? We want to know. Declassify. Next thing we want you to declassify. Epstein Island. / Hollywood. Are y'all running that? Are y'all so intertwined in that? That's why you don't want to release that list. Was that some form of y'all initiating the next batch of weirdos to help run and backdoor stuff with these agencies, or in the name of these agencies? We want to know. We want to know. There's no way you could tell me that this man had a whole island next to the Bidens, because they had an island there. Oprah, that's right. Oprah had an island there. The guy who runs Virgin. What's his name? Richard Branson had an island there. And everybody's just doing them. Just like we found out about the other island where they were getting the Fiji water from. That had all the girls that with the thing where the girl from Superman, the little reporter chick from Smallville, was over there recruiting girls and getting them branded. That was a private island. These are things that have been going on for 20 plus years. Declass. We want to know. We know y'all know. We want to know. And these are my last three. And they're kind of all combined together. Aliens. Roswell. Nevada. Antarctica. Yellowstone National Park. The Grand Canyon. North Pole. Flat Earth. We want to go. We want to know. We want to see for ourselves. We want confirmation. Declass, tell us the truth. Yes, we cared about these beloved figures. JFK, RFK, MLK. But we know you would just be confirming. This is the stuff we want to know now. Confirm this. Stop lying about this. You feel me? Did you kill our leaders? Did you put crack in our hoods? Are you manipulating us with TV? Are you manipulating us with the music? Are you locking us up in private prisons? Are you looking to generate money off stuff that you already claim as property from birth certificates. We want to know. Declass. Declass. Those are the D classes we want to hear. So, yeah. It's your boy, Hoon Boon. It's my first time going live. And I wanted to touch on something that I had some time to think about. I ain't just want to get up here and just, talk about some dumb stuff. I wanted to talk about something official and just dive a little bit deeper into it and get y'all thoughts on it. So, you know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe, comment. Trying to grow this channel, the Hold Up Show. Because hold up, we want to know more. Declass everything. So yeah, get with your boy. I'll probably try to do this twice a week, go live, have something to something legit to talk about, a gathering of thoughts. In the meantime, just check out the rest of the videos, check out the segments of little things I catch here and there from the internet or that I read, and, hit your boy up, you know what I mean? It's all up. So, it's the Hold Up Show. You dig? And I'm out. Peace.